Which of the following has general application and demands in repeated activity? Is it option A, orders, option B, commands, option C, rules, or option D, suggestions? The correct answer is option C, rules. Binding force of law means that option A, law cannot be observed, option B, law is worth observing, option C, subjects are being to observe the law, option D, it is a force which restrains the law. The correct answer is option C, subjects are bound to observe the law. What is the main purpose behind the administration of law? Is it option A, administration of justice, option B, peace in society, option C, stability in society, or option D, all three? The correct answer is option D, all three. What law is called the mother law, and all other laws of the land are subordinate of law? Is it option A, civil laws, option B, criminal laws, option C, social law, or option D, constitutional laws? The correct answer is option D, constitutional laws. In the administration of justice, crimes are called option A, private wrongs, option B, public wrongs, option C, both of these, option D, none of these. And the correct answer is public wrongs, option B. Which source of law is the most important and recognized as such by the law itself? Is it option A, legal source, option B, historical sources, option C, informal source, or option D, ethical source? The correct answer is option A, legal source. Laying down of the legal rules by a serving of subordinate legislator is called option A, legislation, option B, administration, option C, implementation, or option D, none of these. The correct answer is option D, none of these. Legislation which proceeds from the sovereign power in the state and which is thereof incapable of being repealed by any other legislative authority is called, is it option A, supreme legislation, option B, subordinate legislation, option C, social legislation, or option D, moral legislation? The correct answer is option A, supreme legislation. The general rule of precedent is that a court is bound to the decision of option A, all the courts, option B, all the superior courts, option C, all the courts of the land, option D, all its subordinate courts. The correct answer is option B, all the superior courts. How many kinds of legal rights are there in a legal setup? Is it option A, 4, option B, 6, option C, 8, or option D, 9? The correct answer is option A, 4. The statement of law by courts which go beyond the requirements of the particular case in fraud and lay down an unnecessary rule is called option A, ratio decidendi, option B, obiter dicta, option C, res nullius, option D, res judicata. The correct answer is option B, obiter dicta. Established social practice which is legally binding being incorporated in contract between the parties is called option A, usage, option B, conventional custom, option C, both A and B, or option D, none of these. The correct answer is option C, both A and B. An act opposite of which is called a wrong and which other must respect is called option A, rights, option B, duty, option C, wrong, option D, legality. The correct answer is option B, duty. Jurisprudence is derived from option A, juris, option B, lex, option C, prudent, option D, A and B. The correct answer is option A, juris. The term prudence means option A, law, option B, knowledge, option C, wisdom, option D, both B and C. The correct answer is option B, knowledge. Jurisprudence is a name of a set of rules to share option A, science, option B, laws, option C, institutions, or option D, rights. The correct answer is option B, laws. Concept of law is basic of option A, all legal concepts, option B, all concepts, option C, social concepts, or option D, ethical concepts. The correct answer is option C, social concepts. The law, which is type of command and is laid down by a political sovereign having sanction behind it, is called option A, natural law, option B, social law, option C, imperative law, or option D, none of these. The correct answer is option C, imperative law. All laws are not made by the legislators. However, all laws are administered by option A, courts, option B, legislators, option C, executive, option D, both A and B. The correct answer is option A, courts. Jurisprudence is philosophy of option A, human nature, option B, general law, option C, positive law, option D, international law. The correct answer is option C, positive law. A right is enforced by law is called option A, imperfect right, option B, perfect right, option C, negative right, option D, positive right. The correct answer is option B, perfect right. Jurisprudence is derived from option A, juris, option B, lex, option C, precedent, option D, both A and B. The correct answer is option A, juris. The ownership of material object is called option A, right, option B, incorporeal, option C, corporeal, option D, trust ownership. The correct answer is option C, corporeal. How many kinds of mediate possession are there? Option A, 1. Option B, 3. Option C, 4. Option D, 5. The correct answer is option B, 3. A crime is an act, option A, harmful to an individual, option B, harmful to society, option C, harmful to the institutions, option D, harmful to law. The correct answer is option B, harmful to society. Civil laws include option A, complete law, option B, general law, option C, special law, or option D, both B and C. The correct answer is option D, both B and C, that is general law and special law. Liability is option A, civil or criminal, option B, remedial or penal, option C, devastative and investigative, option D, all of the above. The correct answer is option D, all of the above. A state is a corporation, option A, option B, firm, option C, natural person, option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option A, corporation. A firm is option A, legal person, option B, a mensum of individual, option C, an incorporated association, or option D, none of the above. The correct answer is option A, legal person. How many kinds of subordinate legislation are there? Option A, 4. Option B, 5. Option C, 6. Or option D, none of these. The correct answer is option B, 5. How many theories of punishment are there? Is it option A, 1, or option B, 2, or option C, 6, or option D, 8? The correct answer is option C, 6. Kinds of delivery are option A, 1, option B, 2, option C, 3, or is it option D, 4? The correct answer is option B, 2. The title of ownership are option A, vested ownership, option B, contingent ownership, option C, complete ownership, option D, illegal ownership. The correct answer is option A, vested ownership. The term prudence means option A, law, option B, knowledge, option C, wisdom, or is it option D, both B and C? The correct answer is option B, knowledge. The statement of law by courts which go beyond the requirements of the particular case in hand and lay down an unnecessary rule is called option A, ratio decidendi, option B, obiter dicta, option C, res nullis, or option D, res judicata? The correct answer is option B, obiter dicta. Rights which were recognized by the Court of Chancery are called option A, rights in relina, option B, legal rights, option C, equitable rights, or is it option D, personal rights? The correct answer is option C, equitable rights. The main purpose behind the administration of law is option A, administration of justice, option B, peace in society, option C, stability rights, or is it option D, all three? The correct answer is option D, all three. Who defined jurisprudence is a philosophy of positive law? Is it option A, Salmon, or option B, Holland, or option C, Austin, or is it option D, Gray? The correct answer is option C, Austin. Fiction theory is related to which of the following concepts? Is it option A, justice, option B, liability, option C, legal personality, option D, none of the above? The correct answer is option C, legal personality. Kinds of subordinate legislations are option A, 4, option B, 5, option C, 6, or option D, none of these. The correct answer is option B, 5. How many theories of punishment are there? Is it option A, 1, option B, 2, option C, 6, or option D, 8? The correct answer is option C, 6. The title of ownership is called option A, vested ownership, or option B, contingent ownership. The correct answer is option A, vested ownership. Those sources for which the law derives its force and validity are known as option A, material source of law, option B, legal sources, option C, wisdom, or is it option D, formal source of law? The correct answer is option D, formal source of law. The purpose of design with which an act is done called, is it option A, intention, option B, motive, option C, preparation, or is it option D, none of these? The correct answer is option B, motive. A legislation enacted by a state legislature falls in the category of, is it option A, supreme legislation, option B, subordinate legislation, option C, delegated legislation, or is it option D, personal rights? The correct answer is option A, supreme legislation. The concept of ownership has its origin in, is it option A, Greek law, option B, Roman law, option C, Latin law, or is it option D, English law? The correct answer is option B, Roman law. How many kinds are there of general law? Is it option A, 5, option B, 3, option C, 2, option D, no one? The correct answer is option C, 2. According to Salmon, a relationship between a person and any right that is vested in him is called option A, title, option B, ownership, option C, liability, or is it option D, none of these? The correct answer is option B, ownership. The right pertains to man's status or standing in the law is option A, local right, option B, personal right, option C, public right, or is it option D, all of them? The correct answer is option B, personal right. The nature of right of vote is option A, private, option B, personal, option C, vested, or is it option D, derived? The correct answer is option A, private. The test for determining whether a man is in possession of anything is that, is it option A, holding it without interference, option B, waste it, or is it option C, it's in general control of him? The correct answer is option A, holding it without interference. Persons as defined in law are of two kinds. Is it option A, natural, option B, legal, option C, real or personal, or is it option D, both A and B? The correct answer is option D, both A and D, B. Which law is called mother of all laws and all other laws of the land are subordinate to it? Is it option A, civil law, option B, criminal law, option C, social law, or option D, constitutional law? The correct answer is option D, constitutional law. The statement of law by courts which goes beyond the requirements of the particular case in hand and lay down an unnecessary rule is called option A, ration decidendi, option B, obiter dicta, option C, res nullis, option D, res judicata. The correct answer is option B, obiter dicta. A precedent is a judicial decision which contains in itself a principle which turns from its authoritative element is often termed as option A, ratio decidendi, option B, obiter dicta, option C, res nullis, or is it option D, res judicata? The correct answer is option A, ratio decidendi. Binding force of law means that option A, law can be observed, option B, worth observing, option C, subjects are bound of observe, or is it option D, it is force which restrains the laws? The correct answer is option C, subjects are bound of observe. Jurisprudence deals with option A, previous legal thoughts, option B, existing legal principles, Or is it option C, both? The correct answer is option C, both. Jurisprudence is the science of option A, criminal law, option B, administrative law, or is it option C, civil law? The correct answer is option C, civil law. Law is a command of the sovereign, said by option A, Hobbes, option B, Salmond, or is it option C, Austin? The correct answer is option C, Austin. A firm is option A, an artificial person, option B, a legal person, or is it option C, an enterprise? The correct answer is option C, enterprise. Jurisprudence is a formal science of option A, social law, option B, criminal law, or is it option C, positive law? The correct answer is option C, positive law. According to Salmond, main of laws are option A, 2, option B, 4, or is it option C, 6? The correct answer is option A, 2. Ratio decidendi means option A, positive points of the case, option B, negative points of the case, option C, reasons of the decision. The correct answer is option C, reasons of the decision. Rights not only obtain legal protection but also option A, legal status, option B, legal benefits, or is it option C, legal recognition? The correct answer is option C, legal recognition. There are blank modes of acquiring ownership. Is it option A, 2, option B, 4, or is it option C, 6? The correct answer is option A, 2. Kinds of punishment are option A, 4, option B, 6, option C, 8. The correct answer is option B, 6. Colonial legislation is done by option A, King of Great Britain, option B, House of Commons, option C, House of Lords, or is it option D, House of Commons and House of Lords? The correct answer is option A, King of Great Britain. Entity of corporation is apart from its option A, President, option B, Constitution, option C, Chairman, or is it option D, members? The correct answer is option D, members. Custom should be option A, recently organized, option B, new, option C, reasonable, or is it option D, reasonable and ancient? The correct answer is option D, reasonable and ancient. General legislation is that kind of legislation which is applied to option A, general public, option B, public at large, option C, specific class of person, or is it option D, general public and specific classes of person? The correct answer is option B, public at large. Historical school of thought suggests that law cannot be option A, forcibly enforced. Option B, willingly enforced. Option C, at all enforced. Or is it option D, completely enforced? The correct answer is option A, forcibly enforced. Precedents are option A, opinions. Option B, concepts. Option C, cases adjudicated by apex court. Or is it option D, decisions and cases adjudicated by apex courts? The correct answer is option D, decisions and cases adjudicated by apex courts. Objective of civil administration of justice is to enforce. Is it option A, constitutional or natural rights? Option B, civil and public rights. Option C, personal or private rights. Or is it option D, international or national rights? The correct answer is option C, personal and private rights. Jurisprudence means option A, knowledge of evidence. Option B, knowledge of law. Option C, knowledge of paintings. Or is it option D, knowledge of sports? The correct answer is option B, knowledge of law. A right which is created and recognized by law is called option A, absolute right. Option B, conditional right. Option C, right in rem. Or is it option D, legal rights? The correct answer is option D, legal rights. Legislation which is done by subordinate legislator can be repealed by option A, Prime Minister. Option B, Supreme Legislator. Option C, President. Or is it option D, both Prime Minister and President? The correct answer is option D, both Prime Minister and President.